a man. Man. Now you're a man. M-A-N, man. Now you're a man. Look at that. It is the song from the Orgasmo soundtrack, Now You're a Man. And we have to have the man on with us today, the fantastic. I used to refer to him as the Midwest Mangler, and now he's just the Mangler. And Angel has switched spots. He's gotten to a better mic.
Yeah, man, the other one just wasn't feeling it, you know.
You gotta have your spot, baby.
Of course, man. You know, the only way I'm gonna do it is if I just take it, obviously, because apparently you guys ain't giving me anything. So. Got me treated over here like the Mangler.
I love that.
I'm not on camera.
No, you're not on camera. You're. I could put you on camera, but if you just want to be there, that's fine. And then I got Peter here, good old Peter the cat.
Movie guy?
He had to do laundry with his mom, so he
he
didn't show up today.
He makes movies, but he's gonna
He makes movies, but he had to do laundry with his mom.
It happens.
It happens. So, Angel, I want to talk to you in this segment about what it's like to run through like the tryout and what a camp is like to get you before you start in the school for MWE.
Just the wrestling part.
Let's talk about that, baby. Tell me all about
The one that has to do with wrestling, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just clarify. Yes, no, Jiggy, with words that you can speak out of your mouth. Our training, we take it very serious. We do, mess around, joke around. We have our fun, just as every school does. But no, really, when it comes down to it, what we normally tell people is there's no real way in preparing for what we do. We are a different type of workout, athletic performance. It is unlike any sport. We've had people come in that claim to be football players, that claim to be lacrosse players, that claim to be
players.
We have all kinds of people just coming through the door. Yeah, it's and they want a shot, so we're like,
how do
go
they
ahead.
think doing lacrosse would be able to? They're going to take a bump doing wrestling.
Hand-eye coordination, Jiggy.
There you go. Yes. Well, there's MMA guys that think that they can be
and
pro wrestlers.
It's very similar, but I mean that
Tyler
little
Stinson.
bit of difference. It's what gets them, Jiggy.
Offer him a deal.
So
Offer Tyler Stinson a deal?
Who's Tyler
What?
Stinson?
He is an MMA guy in Wichita who thinks he's a wrestler.
Hey man, if he wants to come down and try it out, man, we
Ask him if he thinks he's professional.
if he thinks he could go professional and he wants to join our world, we have no problem bringing in more people.
But
Get his cat out of the way.
we've got Angel with us today, the biggest star in the business. If you don't believe him, just ask him; he'll tell you. And
Damn straight.
that's why I like Angel. And we have got the as I used to refer to him way back in the day. He's now just the Mangler, or if you find him on Twitter, the only real Mangler.
The only real. And I run the only real school in Kansas.
So, when you ran Angel through the tryout before he joined MWE, what was that like?
When I ran Angel through the tryout?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you the reason. Well, I'll boil it down to this. I'll tell you why I accepted Angel after the tryout. I never based my assessment or my acceptance on how well somebody does. I always base it on how well they drive themselves, how much they push themselves, and how much they desire to be there. I don't run a school because I want to make money on tons of people coming in and following a dream of pretending to be a wrestler. I want to train people who are going to have a career in this business and potentially go to the next rank, go to the next brand, go to the big show, eventually end up at, we always say WWE WrestleMania.
Well, yeah.
That's obviously everybody's end goal. But whether it be that or any of the other companies that are out there, I want to train people to the quality and standards to where when they get to an opportunity where they have a shot at one of those companies, they are the best in the market. They are the best of what they do. And I can assure you, with the intense training that I put these guys through, they will be the best in this area for damn sure. And I would put that up. I would put my last dollar up against anybody's.
You gotta understand. That. You gotta understand.
Conditioning, cardio.
We do more than just wrestling.
Ring psychology, cardio, condition. I mean, everything that goes into the professional wrestling business, including how to handle it, deal with it, market yourself, all of it. How
to cut a promo.
All that is included. Yes, it obviously comes with it later on as you develop characters and things like that. So we do character development. Everybody trains at an individual pace. So Angel kind of progresses a little bit faster than some. Some people progress a little bit slower. You know, some people progress even faster than Angel. You know, me personally, it was like 9 months before my first professional wrestling match. Some people, it takes 4. Andy Levine, you know, went from Knobs' school to Tough Enough. And I think he had been wrestling for 4 months.
Yeah, I think he'd been in there 4 months.
So, you know, when he was down there in the ring with us, it was just, you know, he had no experience. And we were all obviously better trained as to what they, you know, what we could do. But he was what they wanted at the time. And he had certain skills and certain things that they liked about him that they picked him. And then he ended up winning Tough Enough. And kudos to him. So the thing about it is...
And then he got stunned by Austin.
Right. And then we've never seen him since. But, you know, the thing about it is, I always tell people this at the tryout. I always tell people this in the beginning and at the end of the tryout. I have always seen in my 10 years in professional wrestling, I have seen people with more passion, more drive and desire for the business because they love it, succeed faster and further than those with incredible athleticism, skill, and physique. I mean, you know, you can have a Batista body.
Well,
but if you don't have a Batista mind, you're not going to make it.
I'm sure that you've heard that old story that Batista tells, where him and his 3 bodybuilding buddies went to the WCW power plant.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they got the shit beat out of them by Sarge, and his 2 or 3 buddies were just like, "We ain't coming back the next day."
Right, and you know that.
And Batista's like, "I'll go back the next day," and then they beat the shit out of him again, and then he's like, "Screw this," and went to OVW and learned how to wrestle.
You know, Jiggy, this is why some people choose to go to the smaller branded. I want him to call them smaller branded. I'll call them illegitimate wrestling organizations, not even companies.
Wrestling groups.
So illegitimate professional wrestling organizations, so they're called. What they're doing is they're training people the wrong way. They're going to train them to get hurt. They're going to train them to do things and to promote themselves and to market themselves in the wrong ways. The thing about it is, those people have, I can promise you this, and I would put $100 on it right now. This is a $100 standing offer. You bring me anybody that was trained in one of those locations, and they know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
That was trained from the beginning, never any experience anywhere else, but Billy Simmons trained him.
Okay.
You send me that wrestler, and I will put him up against Angel in my training for conditioning and just what we do on a regular day, no extra. What we do on a regular day, and putting together spots, psychology. I will pay somebody $100 if that person can last Angel to the end of training.
Wow.
I will put my money on Angel on that because he has more heart and desire to be in this wrestling business, and yet he has not wrestled a show. Unlike some of these fucking people who have no experience, 4 days of training, and all of a sudden they're main eventing and winning belts.
Well,
does that make sense?
No.
That's why the only time I'm going to try to tone myself down a minute.
Yes.
But I'm a little frustrated because that's what I see, and especially whenever I'm only going to say this one time ever. When I have former people that were with me, with former students of mine, that happen to be the top talent on every one of these other cards of these illegitimate companies, doesn't that speak for itself? When
you bring up an excellent point.
When I train somebody, whether they're with me, hate me, like me or not, when I train somebody, why, if I'm a shitty trainer, if I have a no good...
See, that's the thing.
How can I be a bad school? How can I not know what I'm doing if everybody I've trained is the top fucking challengers, the top contenders, and the top main event,
Japan,
and every goddamn fucking championship belt is around their waist? Everybody I've trained, not anybody fucking Billy Simmons is trained except his fat self.
You know what's funny is I talk to, and I've even told this to Angel, I talk to all these guys because all you guys.
Angel has more heart than any of those
all you
fuckers
guys are
combined.
my buddies, and nobody ever talks shit on Mangler's training.
They talk shit on me because I'm an asshole.
They just talk shit on you because you're an ale,
because I'm a fucking
or because
asshole.
you've burned all these bridges, blah blah blah, all this stuff.
Look where my bridges
They
take me.
never talk about.
My bridges take me to airplanes. I fly
Legends
to
of
other.
Wrestling.
I fly to other states. I wrestle for bigger shows. My bridges aren't burnt. The bridges that they think are burnt weren't even fucking roads.
The thing that I think is funny is that all of them, they never dispute the training.
No.
They're always like, he's a hell of a trainer.
So how can you?
And then they go into the other stuff.
Which brings
and
me,
it's just,
which let me interrupt you. Which brings
Go
me to my
ahead.
brings me to my question. Why does somebody that is so unqualified, that gives me credit for my training,
Yeah.
charge an outrageous amount to train people when he doesn't know what he's doing, and the people he's booking on his shows are my students? Their top talent are my students. So how does that speak for your company when you tell people I'm a piece of shit, but yet everybody I trained own your fucking show?
well, and one of the guys that you trained is going to Japan here pretty soon.
And congratulations to him, because if he wouldn't have put in the blood, sweat,
So
and tears
it's
in
like-
in my training ring, the same one Angel trains in today that I built in 2012, if he wouldn't have put his blood, sweat, and tears into it then, and I couldn't have taught him how to build character and build what he does. Yes, he's polished some things here and there, since we've been distant. But here's the thing. I instilled in him the discipline for professional wrestling. That alone sets my training apart from anybody else, because my training, I promise you this, and I guarantee it, I put my word on it. My training is the most disciplined training out of any professional wrestling organization around this area, specifically this area.
Well, yeah.
Probably in Kansas.
Yeah. Well, that is the thing.
Those people have no respect for wrestling. When you show up to wrestling training and say, I'd like to learn a body slam, and they teach it to you, that's fucked up. There's a structure.
Well, yeah, because you
They
gotta
don't follow it. They don't follow
you gotta learn.
That's why,
as they always say, you gotta learn how to crawl before you can.
and right before I digress, that's why one of my most recent former students that decided to go ahead and travel over to XWE to wrestle and train. That's why one of my former students, I won't mention the name, but as the person went over there, the first week, she'd been training with me for a year. The first week she goes over there, Sunset Flip decides that's what she wants to learn that day. Sunset Flip almost gouged her fucking eye out. Let's learn technique before we start jumping into fucking moves.
Crap.
All right? Get real.
See, I did not know about that.
But getting back to
Angel.
everything, Jiggy.
Go ahead.
Now I digress.
Getting back to everything, yes, we take our training very serious. We try to initiate safety first, because we want career longevity more than anything, because what's the point of living your dream for only 2 or 3 years?
Well,
man?
that too.
Jiggy, you know the first show I ran in March of 2016, I think it was?
Yep.
The day before, no, maybe it was the second show, but either way, the day before that show happened, do you know what happened in the professional wrestling world? Very close to us. So as we deal with this athletic commission having to pay permits and this, that, and the other, in Oklahoma there was a kid.
Boy, do I know about the athletic commission.
My
Go
show,
ahead.
my show was a Friday.
I like that
My
one.
show was a Saturday night. My show was a Saturday night, March 25th, Saturday night, 2016.
Yeah.
The 24th, or the day before my show. The day before my show, a kid in Oklahoma on a Friday night wrestles his very first match.
Oh yeah, I remember
in
hearing
front of
about
his
that.
hometown. His family were sitting in attendance. Does a fucked up spine buster because he was never trained the right way, snaps his neck, and he dies.
Yep.
That's why I'm so angered, and that's why I'm so blunt
That's why you pay attention
and angry
to
about
detail.
this. Yes, because if you don't learn something right, if it's not second nature and you do it when you're blown up tired in the ring, you're going to injure yourself or others. And your goal is to protect that other guy. If I don't trust you in the ring, I don't want to wrestle you. These guys, I would never wrestle these people. Kenny Jones, when I wrestled him, what did I do? I just beat him the fuck up. Because there's nothing he knows how to do, and everything he knows how to sell sucks.
Oh, zombie.
I like Kenny as a person, but
like
Jesus
Kenny
Christ,
too.
he belongs not even in the back. He belongs in the fucking front row.
You know what's funny is I talked to another, we'll use air quotes, professional wrestling.
So quit, just call them people.
Well, I talked to another promoter.
Okay, what's he call himself?
And they told me, they said, they didn't exactly say what you said, but they said Kenny doesn't belong in the ring. He's best to be a manager.
Well, I can tell you this: Brian Knobs told him that in 2012, whenever we did the tryouts or the 3-day seminar in
Salina
at the Blue Goat,
the old Blue Goat.
You know, when we did that, and he ripped me off of money, and then his ex-girlfriend ended up sending me it in the mail because he was scared of me over Facebook.
Oh my God!
So I got my money out of him, and he gypped out, and Knobs told him he sucked and he should never be wrestling, and he wanted booked on that card that night.
Yes.
And Knobs came up to me and said, if that fucking idiot thinks he's going to get booked, I'll fucking knock you the fuck out. So, what do you think I'm going to do? Definitely not book him.
Oh, yes, because I remember...
That's like Brandon Keever, my fucking former student, Brandon Keever.
He's a jiu-jitsu man now.
Well, guess what? He came to the Brian Knobs seminar in September. Angel, were you there, right?
Zuko.
Yes, sir.
You remember him? You know who I'm talking about?
Sir.
He came there, and whatever. He'd been wrestling for these people for a while.
He's a jiu-jitsu man now.
Listen, Angel might have to clarify. Angel,
Go ahead,
Brian
Angel.
Knobs asks him, hey, how long have you been wrestling? He says some obnoxious amount of time. And what's Knobs say to him?
He says, go ahead and take a bump.
And then it was horrible. He fucking couldn't bump. He fucking took a bump. He looked like shit. And Brian Knobs says, you should never tell anybody you're fucking wrestling. And whoever you're fucking getting bookings from, they should be fucking ashamed of themselves.
I hadn't been wrestling for too long during that Knob seminar, but he remembered me. And
we got all sorts of people paying attention to this segment of the.
well, hey guys, I hope you guys are having a good day.
Hey, we're just in a downtime right now. Instead of going to commercial break, let's say hello to everybody.
Now,
let's say hello to everybody. Who's on there?
We've got JT Money from Kansas Wrestling Revolution is watching.
What's
up,
that,
brother?
What's that?
And what says this guy.
No, what did you just say? Kansas what?
Kansas Wrestling Revolution.
What is that?
In Salina, Kansas. They run 4 events a year, and they usually run them at the Tony's Pizza Event Center, a.k.a. the Pizza Dome.
Oh, well, tell them to book
and
me.
They have, well, I don't know if they'll book you because they have your former person working for them.
Oh, the Outlaw?
Yes.
Oh, we can work together.
Mr. Outlaw.
No, we're good.
You're good with Jerry?
There's no bad blood from me.
Okay, well, that's
there
good.
might be on his side, but there's no bad blood from me.
That's good. Well, that's good to hear.
He shook my hand whenever I saw him at the IWR event.
Oh, okay. Well, look.
I haven't spoke to him, but I have no bad blood.
See, I haven't talked to you in a while, so I didn't know what
Hey, man,
going on.
I've turned over a new leaf, brother. I've turned over a new leaf, man.
So you're boys with Jerry now? That's
No.
awesome.
I didn't say I was boys with
Well,
Jerry.
I know, but you guys don't have any heat.
We were able to coexist.
You're able to coexist
I don't know if
in a
we'd be
building.
able to coexist in a coffee shop, but we can coexist in a wrestling show.
Just understand this, Jiggy.
Yeah, what's going on, Angel?
At this point, we're not here to make anybody happy. We're not here to satisfy anybody. We are here to make a statement, and we are here to make a point that we are coming back. We are taking back. I mean, whatever you really want to say about it.
No, it was
but
always
we
ours.
don't have any back.
It was always ours.
We're resuming control.
But anything that happened is behind us, and we're just moving forward. Because, like I said, the future is now. We're going in there, and we're gonna show them how it's done.
And without speaking about it, we all know what kind of sidelined everything for a while. Things changed personally, professionally, and MWE had to kind of revamp. So MWE, everybody thinks it went underground. We just went to the training facility and busted our asses and trained every day and every night. That's what we did. We did what we knew best, and we got in that wrestling ring. Unlike talking about wrestling, we actually wrestled. Instead of pretending to be wrestlers, we became them. That's what we did while these other people are running around all over the place promoting shows. And now we're back. The thing is, we're back. Not only were we never gone, but we're back with force, because I promise you, when we come out with our next show, it's going to be something to pay attention to, and I'm sure that even these guys are going to buy tickets.
As long as you make my one request
What's
true.
your goddamn request again?
And book Mr. Fitness too.
No,
that's all I care.
Put a shout out to him right now.
I love Mr. Fitness.
Mr. Fitness too. You and Blade, you guys are definitely booked as long as you can make the date. You're good to go with me.
Because when Mr. Fitness got booked, and this is just a personal gripe of mine, when he got booked here in Hutchinson, there was a whole bunch of people that showed up to the show, and they were excited to see Fitness, and they booked him as a heel, and the crowd didn't buy him as a heel.
Who was that? When was that my show?
I think you might have been at that show. It was
No,
the
it was that
PCW
show that
at
we-
the mall.
The show that I think I went there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when Fitness came out, the whole place went nuts, and I'm like,
So
oh my God, they remember Mr. Fitness from MWE.
they all went nuts.
And then they went, he's a heel.
they all went nuts. Jiggy, they also went nuts when the Mangler walked out with TJ Maxx.
They also went nuts. Yeah.
I walked down the aisle and they damn near should have played my music because every camera turned my way and I wasn't even part of the fucking show. And then that Egyptian Mexican called the goddamn security on me and fucking they had every wrestler, they changed the script, every wrestler now it's a lumberjack match. What do they think I'm going to do? Try to get in their stupid shitty ring? I wouldn't want to touch that damn ring unless they were paying me and they never did in the first place. Jesus Christ. These people are a joke. Hey, at least, maybe they'll promote a show tonight that I can go to and not happen.
Maybe they'll do it in the park.
No, I'm going to go out and set up a ring in the
Maybe we'll
fucking
do it in the
parking
park.
lot out here. We'll see if anybody shows up. I'll probably have a bigger following than they did.
They can watch it in the parking lot.
How do you come? No, listen. Let me ask you.
Go ahead,
you a
go
question.
ahead.
Let me ask you a question because you've asked me a lot.
Yes.
What is your opinion on how a wrestling company who gives show after show for free to the fans, having an event, promoting an event that doesn't happen after you've given show after show for free, how do you come back from that to draw
charge
to
admission?
To charge and draw people to your show?
See, I was always told, and this is quite hilarious, but there was a festival promoter years ago that told me you have to charge a little something because if you just give the shows away, people see there's no value in it.
And there wasn't.
So,
well, until I bought Taz. So, but the thing is, I'm gonna give a big shout out too because I know there's a lot of people. Now listen here, I've been an asshole. A lot of the time I've been in character today during the interview, but you have to understand this on a serious note, 100% from the heart.
yes.
Anybody who's been disgruntled from any other company, anybody who has had a falling out with somebody else, I've put all my shit behind me. I put it all in the past, whether it's been, one thing or the other, professionally, personally. It's done. It's over. We move on from today and we look toward tomorrow.
Yes.
So anybody that I've had heat with, anybody that's disliked me, if you still don't, fuck you. If you would like to come to a resolution, I would love to have a conversation with you. I would love to open up the option and opportunity to maybe work
Just a
together.
dialogue.
Yes, because professional wrestling is a brotherhood.
Well,
I mean, it's a fraternity. You should not be angry and hate everybody in this business. I only hate people who shouldn't be in it.
I only hate people who shouldn't be
the few. So for the.
Oh my God.
So
That's
for,
a T-shirt.
Right. So for the few people that are legitimate or see themselves as legitimate, who would like to have a conversation with me, please don't be afraid to approach me. I'm not going to be an asshole like today on the radio.
Yeah.
I would love to have a conversation and talk, business with people, and possibly bring in some people that, maybe were a part of other companies and possibly, would like to go and work for a better promotion and the only real wrestling organization.
There
in
is a
Kansas.
guy in Oklahoma that 2 wrestling companies in Salina refused to book. Maybe you should bring him in.
Who's he?
His name is Doc Black. I don't know if you guys know of Doc Black.
Never. No. What's he do?
He wrestles in Oklahoma.
And not in Kansas?
Well, he wrestled in Salina for 2 companies, and he did something in both companies, and they won't book him anymore.
Oh, well, you're sending me a guy that's unbookable.
Well, I'm letting you...
This is why you're not on my creative team.
This is why I'm not on the creative team. This is...
You got a creative attire,
That's
but you do not have
fantastic.
creative ideas.
This is why you're not on the creative team.
Jesus.
It is the Mangler.
Let's take a break.
Yes, let's take a quick break, and when we come back...
Now I'm the host. Take a break. Thank you. You're listening right now to the Jiggy Jaguar Show.